Come on, here. Oh, that's great. There you go. You don't sing, do you?
I do.
You do? You ever sing along with us?
Mm-hmm. When I'm on location downtown at the
Really,
Christmas
you do?
Walk.
You mic up and sing? Or just sing to yourself?
No, I'll just sing with everybody. Lead them.
Do you?
Yeah.
This is Ed Clark. You know, the funny thing is 5,000 people just went, hey, I know that guy. Ed Clark Photography, and what do you call it? What do you call it? Like Ed Clark Photography and Music?
And music services.
Music services.
Yes.
And everybody knows Ed. You've been in this town virtually your whole life?
My whole life, yeah.
Whole life.
All
And
58
out
years.
doing paid gigs and photography and music for whole adult life.
It'll be 39 years in March.
When'd you start doing that?
Right out of high school. Just had a hobby in high school, had an interest in doing photography and started messing around with.
Yeah, you did photography first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Right,
I didn't start piano till my mid-20s. I was a late bloomer.
Start piano. Performing or playing?
Started playing around 24 and then started playing professionally maybe 10 years later. I was scared to death to play in front of people.
Yeah.
So I eventually got over that. And
You worked through it.
yeah.
All right, let's start with photography first, because which is your first love?
Photography. Yeah, I would say.
Well, probably because I imagine that photography pays more bills than music. I mean, right?
Yes, it's a lot more
I
involved.
mean, your accountant is probably more excited about the photography number than
Yes, he is.
than the music number.
Absolutely.
Okay, you've seen the photography business change dramatically in the decades since you've been doing this.
Incredible.
Right?
Changes, yes. Some for the better, some not so good. The art of photography hasn't changed at all. You still have to know how to light and pose people and have that camaraderie with your clients, and that's what makes it fun. It's just all the computers and the digital technology that's made it readily available for people now in a different medium.
But the way you put it, though, was fantastic. The art of photography. And that's what I don't get so much when I take my iPhone and point it at you and press a button, and the extent of what I know how to do is resize it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Crop it. I know how to crop it.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe do an Instagram effect.
Yeah, point and shoot.
Point.
Machine gun photography is what I call it these days. Just boom, 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 shoot 140 pictures and hope you get one. That's how.
Oh, that's great. Spray and pray.
Yes. Hey, that's a good one. I'll have to remember that. Then you get the pictures back and they've got raccoon eyes because there's no light in their eyes, no good lighting, no posing. Just capture the moment, which is okay at times. I use my
Well, that's
iPhone.
almost like that's almost like you say capture the moment. I mean, that's like journalistic. That's what journalists do. You're out in combat. And they have to capture the moment. But you're not the Associated Press. You're trying to get a wedding photo.
Right.
This isn't a news event.
Yeah.
You're trying to get a wedding photo, right? And you're trying, and you want to look your best,
right? But you got to capture the moment at the same time, be able to get the best side of the client. Just pose them a certain way. Have your craft honed in on what you want to capture. And that's what the client's going to be so happy with later, is to have that expression, but also have an image that's going to be timeless. And that's what professional photography is, just to capture something that would hang on your wall that you'd be proud to have hang there for a long time.
Well, I want to zero in on the whole artistic side of what you do, because that's what separates you from anybody with a camera. Anybody with a camera is not a photographer,
right?
And you've studied this. I mean, you go to conventions, for crying out loud, right? And get together with other people.
Yes.
To do this. You all trade ideas and techniques. And I mean, there are things that to you are second nature that to me wouldn't even occur to me.
Yes, when you go to conventions and you see your fellow photographers from across the country, and we all just share ideas and we glean from each other just by watching, and you develop your own style, but at the same time you look at what everybody else is doing. They learn from you, you learn from them, and it's just one way to keep on increasing your skill.
I got a friend of mine's a hotshot photographer in New York City, and I mean, he speaks in this world of in terms of shutter speeds and all this stuff, and I don't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, that's what separates whenever you're photographing inside. You've got ambient light that gives a warmth to a picture, and then you've got your flash that fills in the shadows, and you've got lights overhead that can end up ruining your photograph. And that's why I always talk to people, my friends that are out there taking pictures, and they stand them underneath of these canned lights. You take the picture, and their hair is all washed out, and they got these two big holes in their head, which is just their eyeballs. There's no light in their eyes. And you just move them a little bit, and you go, "Wow, look at the difference." So it's just
and you're trained, of course, to see that.
And I teach photography class, too. I have 3 classes a year where not that I'm raising up competitors or anything, but it's just people who want to learn how to take better photographs. I'm all about helping people with that kind of thing. It's not like they're going out to hang a shingle next week, but it's just to take the camera that you have, look at what you're photographing, and study the composition, and pose it, and photograph it better than what you're currently doing. And so that's a fun time. It's a 2-hour class for 2 weeks. And it's just a way for folks to become a little bit better as amateurs. So I like to help out like that.
And by the way, I'll say this because it's fun talking to Ed because I've known Ed for years. And he comes off on the radio, I'm sure it's just this warm, genuine, nice man. But he's really like that. I mean, Ed, as I like to say, you are unapologetically you.
Well, I just try to be myself.
You've only got one speed, man, and it's Ed.
And I'm a people person. I like people, and I like and all the things that I do, it's usually you're playing for events where there's fun, happy music, you're photographing events, corporate functions, family portraits, children, high school seniors, and you got to try to pull that expression out of the people.
What do you do the most of?
I would say family portraits, and then high school seniors. A lot of, because I do Rochester School, I do Glenwood, Williamsville, Petersburg.
Now, do they come to you or do you go to them?
Both. I do their sports photography and all their dances and graduations. And
where you set up at the event and take the picture.
Yes, and then some of them come to me for their studio portraits, but we do a really nice job on those senior portraits that are, classic. That'll be sometimes their last portrait until their wedding pictures.
Oh, man.
So,
where'd you go to high school?
Went to Southeast. Class of 78.
I went to Springfield High. Were they doing invites when you remember that?
Yes.
You remember the guy said, do you still have all those photos? Did you go to those
Yeah, we don't want
events?
to revisit those 1970s photos.
And you did the prom. I got the prom photo, and I'm wearing the baby blue
with the ruffle, with the blue ruffle.
Oh, God, yeah. They had the big giant lapels.
Hey, we were big time right then. That was.
And there were like 5 redheads in Springfield High, and I dated every one of them. I got one of those photos with every.
Oh, that's fantastic.
With every single one of them back in the day. Okay, let's talk about difficult people. Okay, and I'm not talking about necessarily about bridezillas, but people that you get in and you're trying to steer them in, and you're trying to dial them in to take that picture, and they just don't get it.
Well, I'm happy to say that there's been many times when the families will come up to me afterwards and they'll say, after the session's over, and they'll say, "Wow, that was such a great time," and the dad will come up and say, "I was dreading coming in here to do a portrait because I just don't like being around." People doing portraits and so forth, and I made it fun for them. By the time we were done, it was just, we couldn't wait to do more pictures, and we were done, and they came up and said, "That's the most fun we've ever had in a portrait session," and that's how it should be. When you go to a photography studio, you're not just paying for the artistic part of the photography, but you're paying for that experience. This isn't just a herd them in and herd them out like some cattle. There's really an exchange of personalities going on and pulling out the best expression of each person. So we have fun with them, kid around with them, and it shows in the photographs, honestly.
I was talking to a gal the other day as she works for a doctor. And she never had any idea that working for a doctor meant that she would have to evolve into an insurance expert. Now, that makes me think of a guy like you, because you got into the photography business, and you probably had no idea that you would have to keep the edge, evolve into a computer expert.
No, had no idea. Wasn't even expecting to become a photographer full-fledged, because I was really shy in high school, and I thought, when you're a photographer, you got to kind of organize people, you got to coordinate everything, and you got to pull that expression out of people. So it completely brought me out of my shell. So that was kind of a cool thing, that before you knew it, it started out as a hobby. Then I bought more equipment, kept doing more senior pictures and weddings for people. I got referred to many, many people, and that just, by the time I stopped one day and looked, and I thought, wow, this is a full-fledged business, and I loved every minute of it.
And it's probably been to your advantage that think how expensive computer equipment was when you started.
Oh.
And where it is now.
Yeah, let me tell you this, how much, just so people can have an idea.
Yeah.
Now, when you buy digital cards, now we got 16 gig, 8 gig, 64 gig. Back when digital came out in 2000, I think I was one of the first ones in Springfield to come out with digital. There was one other guy in Lincoln that did. And it was for 1 gigabyte, which is it was $999. So basically $1 per meg, $1,000 for 1 gig. Okay, so that would mean a 64 gig card should be $64,000. And of course, those are down to $29.99 and $9.99.
Yeah, you can buy it at Walgreens.
So when you come in on the cutting edge of the technology, which I've always done, you pay premium price, because the computers were expensive, the software, plus all the learning curve. My first digital camera was $20,000, and then of course your cameras evolve. The lenses you pretty much continue to use, because you buy good glass up front, and all you have to do is buy new bodies. That's usually what happens. So I've got lots of cameras. I've kept some of my older ones just as...
I think maybe it was you one time. You used the term glass, and you said, that's the whole thing, man. That's the whole ball game. That's
what's going to give you the best image. You can get you a lens that sounds like it's a really big deal. It's $555, and the other one, it should be $2,000. And you look at the two lenses, and I've done this because I've gotten a particular lens with a camera body. When you buy it, it just comes with it, and it is not at all the quality of my $2,000 lens side by side. So I just basically got rid of it. Don't even use it. So it is about quality, like anything you do, whether it's food or carpentry work or painting. It's just DIY is not always the answer.
You could make me look fantastic, couldn't you? With a $2,000 lens and the right kind of touch-up.
We can. We already did that, Brian. We've done that with you and Kelly.
He's done that. He's absolutely. Okay, let's talk about it. We just got a second. Let's talk about the music. How booked are you?
From Thanksgiving till Christmas Eve, I'm playing at least one place every day, if not
every day, single day.
If not 3 or 4 or 5. Yesterday, I played 6 places.
6 gigs in one day.
Yeah, because I have a lot of monthly gigs that I go to at retirement homes and so forth. But right now, everybody's having their corporate Christmas parties, and I'm playing downtown at the Christmas Walk.
You're literally going to get up from here and go to some...
I'm on my way to the Wyndham downtown. Now, this is for photography now.
Right.
But I got to photograph in a little bit. And
so you're just go.
Then I got to play again at Concordia later today, and I play at Island Bay Yacht Club tonight. So
now, how long do these gigs typically
Most of these are
1
to 2 hours. Some are 3 hours. So it's fun. I get to see a lot of people, and I'm from here, and so, just some people are coming up and say, I saw you last week and saw you the other day. And
people contract with you. And again, anytime you go to an event in this town and there's a guy playing a piano, it's it. I mean, pretty much, odds are, if you had to, and I'm a betting guy, I'd put $1,000 down. If I hear music and it's live, it's you.
Yeah, play quite a bit. I love it. My two favorite loves, music and photography, and they go hand in hand. Some people in town that I know of that know me as a musician and didn't know that I've done photography, and I just smile thinking, well, that's been 38 years, and people know me as a photographer, see me with a piano, and see.
I've never seen you at one of these gigs, though. Knowing, I don't know. I would think that maybe your 5th gig of the day you might not be as enthusiastic about it as you are your first or second gig of the day.
Actually, I got the same, like you said, I have one speed. Last night when I played my last one at Hickory Glen,
that's what I'm getting.
That was the best one of the day. I mean, it was just really fun. It was packed. We had a great time singing Christmas music.
I've never seen you play when you just did look like you just were loving every second of it.
Oh, we had a blast. Then I came home and played at my home piano.
I got a kick when you were doing the Facebook Live broadcast down sitting in front of Dell's Popcorn Shop.
Right. That was last night and the week before, Wednesday.
Did you do it again? Maybe I didn't see the one last night.
I did it Wednesday night, yeah. We had it,
and you set your phone up.
Yeah.
I sent you a note saying you better keep an eye. If you take take your eyeball off your phone.
I was watching that phone.
Someone's going to take it. You have a little stand and you set it up someplace and you point it. Oh, that's beautiful.
And then it's just like a routine or like an annual event. People come by and I see them once a year, just like you would at the state fair. You come by and they're out there shopping, and I see them at the same place every year. They come down and bring me some hot chocolate and sing some songs. And
are you booked to the gills? If there's anybody right now that's having some sort of party or something and they want to book you to come in and play music,
I'm sure I could fit it in. I do have a few spots, and then vacation.
If you're willing to play 6 gigs a day.
Yeah. And then vacation is coming. I'm counting the days down for Christmas vacation.
And you do pretty elaborate vacations.
We try. I feel like we deserve to get away.
It's usually I see like cruises and you're on islands and stuff like that.
Places where it's warm. My wife loves the tropics, so we're always down there at Christmas and Easter, and at least once during the summer.
Where are you going for Christmas this year?
Florida, Fort Lauderdale area. So just go down there and chill. No phones, not talking to anybody, just
I love it.
Relaxing. Enjoying life.
Okay.
Celebrating the year.
What's your website?
EdClarkPhoto.com or EdClarkMusic.com. They take you to the same place.
All right. Ed Clark Photography.
Thank you, Brian.
And Music Services.
Yes. If you need a quintet, quartet, trio,
you just do it all.
Yeah, 4-piece, 5-piece band, whatever you need.
Crying out loud. This guy's for real. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Brian.
Springfield Business First, brought to you by Town and Country Bank, where Springfield goes for business loans.